to let me take a crack at it. I said, well, this is what I want you to do. And I laid it out to him differently, and I told him what I wanted, and we took it from there. So now I want a group to sing the song, and after I arranged the song how I wanted it to go, he says, I said, well, let me get a place and I'll have an audition. And I called my girl, Pat Lewis, who has been with me, recorded on everything I've done. She did all of the arrangements for the vocals. So I called her, and we got together, and I had the audition down at Bert's place. I met with Bert. Bert said, yeah, you can have the place. Okay, no problem. So 2-3 weeks later, we came down, and I get down there, and the place is jammed. People are everywhere. So I goes over to Bert. I said, Bert, I thought you said that I can have the place for this date. And they said, well, I did. You can. I said, well, you got people down here everywhere. He said, well, they're down here for you. So that was a eye-opener there. And so now I went inside, and everybody's waiting, and, hey, what's happening? So now I'm looking at Pat in the sense, whoa, this is a little bigger than I expected. So we started listening to voices and whatnot, and it didn't come to later. Because when I got home, there was a lot of more calls, more people wanted. I had over 200 artists that wanted to sing on this project. I thought that was a lot, and for just one, arrangement of it. But the Lord gave me the vision to do this one song in all these different genres, and I did it. I was obedient to that word. In gospel, jazz, salsa, reggae, and calypso. So that one song, rap, hip hop, is just phenomenal. And that's how that song came apart. And that, I looked up and had the Motown contours there. I had the Motown miracles there. I had the original Motown Vandellas, some of everybody, Condito Live, Gwen Fox, Leslie Ferguson. Harvey Thompson came in from Japan. I had Joan Belgrave, Ron Otis, Theo Otis, Ramona Collins, Bill Myers, Renee King Jackson came in from Canada. I know I'm going to miss someone. No way I will not. Please charge it to my head, not my heart. Guitarist Frank Kelly and David Miles. Pianist Dexter Smith and Robert Jones. The country and western group Joey V. The blues singers Thornetta Davis, Lady Champagne, and harmonica players Dale Robinson and Thomas Loman. Sam Kay, Diane Matthews, the reggae and salsa band Gratitude, Queen Victoria, Al Lindsay, Beth Griffith, Dennis Rowland, Daryl Matthews, Cherry Black. Another version of Detroit City is coming back, done up by calypso artist, the Mellow Man, and the Fantastic Four, just to name a few out of the hundreds that came, that played and sung their hearts out. And the late Robert Lowe, he played along with Joan Crawford. So I turned around and kept his part, and I put Perry Hughes and Larry Barris and Jerome Clark and Eric Watson. And I call that the instrumental Detroit City's Coming Back, the Summit. And we did so much. Marcus Belgrave, the late Marcus Belgrave played also. A lot of the musicians have passed on. Pete Peterson, he played. Amar Jackson. Alan Barnes, he played. Guitarist Terry Bruner. Marvin Ruffin, David Ruffin's nephew, he sung, and he's another one that passed. All these brothers I'm mentioning now made their transitions, and there's a few more, but the project was so awesome. And if you, I play quite a bit on my internet radio station, Educational Arts, Music, and Talk Radio, 24/7 worldwide, EAMTradio.com. So if you tune in, you will hear it, no doubt. And that's the story on Detroit City is Coming Back. So I must thank my co-producers, Mo Woodsett and Carl Butch Small. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Dr. Mamie Smith with her support and love became a great success. And associate producer, Giselle Caver. Well, I worked for Chrysler Corporation for 18 and a half years. And one day I decided that I could make a living playing music. I kind of was forced out or laughed out. I couldn't take it anymore. One day, I recall these brothers that I worked with on the assembly line. I guess you can call it a panel line. But they would watch me work and they would like laugh at me. One particular guy would look at me and just laugh at me, and he had this real smirky look on his face. So I just asked him, I said, man, you know what? Why you look at me like that? Why you laugh at me? And he said, man, you know what? We all come and hear you play, and you literally just turn the place out. And when you walk through the audience, blowing your horn, going from table to table, we be holding our women's hands. But then I see you in here, it just looks funny to me. And then he said to me, he said, you don't believe in yourself, do you? Man, that was all I needed. And that started it all. Man, it was like a blow to me. So I was on a journey after that. I remember this song by Duke Jordan titled Cristo Regento, Christ the Redeemer, when this little kid received the instrument on Christmas and he wanted the Lord to hear him play. So he traveled, and his travels was his practicing. And when he found the Lord, he fell on his knees and started playing. And that day sent me on my travel. And I started going to different places, not knowing that that's, this journey that I went on was a spiritual journey. God was leading me. And he led me to a church called the Church of Today. And I started visiting the Church Today, but that did it for me. I was thankful and grateful, and that's how I got started with doing the things that I'm doing now. And if it wasn't for that guy laughing at me, I probably would have still been there, or God would have had another way if he wanted me to be out. And he did, and I'm thankful. This is another Chrysler story. While I was working at SHAP, that's Chrysler Corporation is 16 Mile and Van Dyke in Sterling Heights, I was working on assembly line, a small assembly line. And I would, in between the jobs, I would be writing. And I was working on a song. And I was writing this song about the new K car that Chrysler was making. I started working on this song, and I remember getting laughed at because you missing jobs, man. Put that down. You ain't no writer. Factory worker. And, guys are teasing, cracking up. But I kept on doing what I was doing. And then, after I finished the song, really finished it, this is cool. So I made an appointment at the front desk to speak with the plant manager. His name was Stir Roller. He was the plant manager at that time. And Forrest Farmer blessed my nonprofit. He made a major contribution to my nonprofit. So Mr. Roller set up the meeting with Lehigh Coca. How about that? And that's the only way I knew I could get this thing done. So, the only way I felt that I should go to Lehigh Coca. So the appointment was set. The day I got to the office, they came to my job in one of the Chrysler vehicles, pulled up, and I got in the car, and everybody was watching me like, whoa, he's in trouble now. I can imagine that's what they were saying. And in fact, one of the foremen said that to me. So did the steward. Thought I was in trouble. So they took me on to Hamtramck, the main office. And I knew what it was about. And so when I got there, Lehigh Coca was in another meeting. But they met me with someone else. His name was Dick Dowd, another Chrysler executive. And when he saw me, he said, with a lot of excitement and enthusiasm in his voice, man, I really love your music, man. He has come to see me before, So they had already cut a check for me. Can you believe this? It was close to $5,000. Yes. And for them to have the rights to it and whatnot. So I don't think they ever did anything with it. Didn't care. They liked it. They paid me. And I was fine with that. Honestly, that was in my early stages of producing and writing. And I don't really think that was nowhere near my best. All I can say is, Favor, if any time I wanted to laugh to the bank, that was it. And so now, after Dick Doubt and I talked and everything, and I remember him telling me,